Mastering your iPhone's calendar is one of the best ways to become more organized and more productive, which, as you know, are two of my superpowers. Stay tuned, I might just reveal my secrets. I'm Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in this video we're going to talk all about your iPhone's calendar. I'm going to show you how to use it, how to organize it, and how to make the most out of it. Stick around for my MacWhisperer power tip because this is going to take everything up to the next level and make it easy for you to not just manage your calendar, but manage your to-do list all from the same app. So let's jump over the phone and get started. First up, before we jump into the calendar itself, I want to talk a little bit about something called a widget. Widgets are these things that we put on our iPhone screens that allow us to get information that's more than what the app itself can provide. For example, if we look at my screen here and we look at the calendar app, what do we see there? The date, that's it. But if I come over to my calendar widget over here, you can see some of the important events today and even some of the things that are going on my calendar tomorrow. Widgets are a great way to bring information front and center so that you don't have to go into the app for it. So tip number one on your calendar is rather than just using the calendar app as it is, boring and small, we can easily turn it into a widget. iOS 18's got a great new way to take any app and turn it into a widget. Simply press and hold on it, and on this little pop-up, you're going to see separate options right here. They can allow you to click this button to turn it into a small widget, just like that. Press and hold again to turn it into a medium-sized widget, or press and hold one more time, click over here and turn it into a large widget. The large widget gives you so much more information and makes it so easy for you to see what's going on in your calendar without having to open up the app. So whichever widget you choose, go ahead and set yourself up with one of these widgets. I personally like the medium one that will allow you to continue this conversation while having your calendar front and center. And one of the best things about widgets is that if you want to get into the app, you just click on the widget just like you would click on the app. So if I want to go into the calendar, all I have to do is click here and I'm right in it easily and simply. But maybe you don't like the way widgets look or they take up too much space. It's easy to go back to an app by pressing and holding on the widget and clicking on this icon right on the left here, which will bring you right back to the simple Calendars app. Now let's hop onto the calendar by clicking right on the app here. When you jump into your calendar, there's several different views. Right now we're in the month view. But before we talk about the month view, if you click the back arrow in your upper left-hand corner here, it's going to jump you right into the entire year at a glance. This can make it simple to plan family trips or holidays or vacations well in advance because you can see exactly where the proper weekends will fall and look at your year easily and simply. Notice that in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a Today button. Tapping that will immediately jump you to the current month, the current week, the current year, or the current day. In this case, we see that it popped us up to October, and October's in red with a 13 on today's date, making it easy for me to know what day it is. Simply clicking on any of the months will bring you into the month view. It has several different views, helping you organize your month in different ways. You'll see the different views under this Customize button right here. As soon as we click on it, you'll notice that there are 4 separate options. We're currently on the compact option. The compact view shows all of your events as these little colors that we see underneath the number of the day. These separate colors represent the different calendars and different categories that you have on your calendar program. We'll talk about different calendars in just a moment. But one of the other benefits of the compact view is how easy it is to see multiple months at a time. Let's click on our Customize button again, and let's change over to the stacked view. The stacked view gives us a little more information. It fills up a little more of the page, and instead of just having the small colors, it gives us a stack of colors. Now, for me, as someone with lots of events on most days, this still really doesn't help me. It gives me the different categories and the different colors and shows me all day events and banners, but it really doesn't give me any information. Let's click the Customize button again and go into the Details view. The Details view is the month view that I recommend most people get used to. It's new with iOS 18, and it gives you more details of what's on the day. Now, I have a ton of birthdays and other events all over my calendar, so any day that we go to is going to have all sorts of things at the top, and then a little +8 or +7 underneath it saying there's more events on that particular day, because the month view just can't show me everything. And the month view also prioritizes all-day events. So you'll see banners at the top of my schedule with my son, or people that are visiting us, or other information like that, but not the details of what I'm doing on any particular day. Which is why there's a 4th month view. Let's click on the Customize button again, and let's choose List. List gives you the entire month up at the top with the small compressed events shown as colors. Clicking on any one of these days will show you the details down below. This can allow me to use the month view while still getting a bird's eye view of all the separate events that are happening in that particular day. So regardless of which of the separate views you use when you're in the month view, you can see all of your events easily. I'm going to go back to the detail view here. Now, when it comes to creating events inside the month view, it's a little more complicated than it is in some of the other views. One of the nice new features of iOS 18 and the details view is that if you press and hold on any particular day, it will allow you to create a new event right on that day, which is helpful because otherwise you can only use the plus button in the upper right-hand corner. When you use the plus button up here, it gives you all the options to give the event a title, and then you can choose whether it's an all-day event or not, but we really haven't put it on a specific date yet. So I've got to come in here where it gives me the date, and I've got to pick the day from the calendar. In this case, this party's happening on the 26th. And now I've got to click the time zone here and choose the proper time for it. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but there's easier ways to create events, and the month view makes it a little bit complicated. Which is why from the detail view, pressing and holding on a specific day can at least get the date selected and shortcut the process of making new events. Now let's step out of the month view and into day view by clicking on any one of the days in this calendar. And up at the top, I've got my all day events, and I can also see the separate events that are showing up on my calendar for this day. Before I dig into the specifics of this view, let's talk about the other view options that we have now. By clicking the Customize button up at the top, you can change from single day, which shows you one day at a time, to multi-day, which can give you two separate days in this same view and can be really helpful when you're trying to manage your schedule. By clicking the Customize button again, we also get something called the List view. And the List view shows all of your separate events in one scrolling list. It can be really helpful to get a bird's eye view of everything that you're doing, but it's not the greatest place to be able to schedule things, mostly because when you're looking at these separate events, it's hard to know how much time you have in between events. Yeah, I can see that I've got Joni at 11:30 and Ronnie at 2:30, but how much time? Do I have enough time to schedule a lunch in between there? I have to do math, which I don't love doing, which is why I'm not a huge fan of the list view. But I really do like this multi-day option that they've given us because it allows me to see more of my day at a time. So that's the view we're going to talk about moving forward here. Now let's talk about some of the other things that we can do from within this calendar view. First off, you can make your days longer or shorter by pinching and spreading right on the day like this. Pinching it down makes all the appointments a little bit smaller in size. They're still the same duration, but you can see there's not that much room between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, if I spread them out like this, I can create much more room. If you have a lot of small appointments that are 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you may want to leave it on this zoomed out size to make it easier for you to schedule things at 15-minute increments. But if most of your appointments are 1 or 2 hour appointments, pinching down like this gives you the ability to see more of your day at a glance. It's really up to you which one you want to do. Now, in addition to that, you'll notice we've got the plus button in the upper right-hand corner, just like we did on the month view, but there's a much better way to create events from the day view. And in order to do that, all you need is a little bit of open space. So here on Wednesday the 23rd, you can see that I'm done at 12:30 and I've got a gap here. That makes it easy for me to schedule an appointment. I'm going to press and hold my finger right in that open space. And as soon as I do, look what happens. It gives me a new event. As long as I keep my finger pushed down, I can move that event anywhere that I want. When I let it go, it's going to open up and ask me about the details, so I can come right in and give it a title. And then I don't need to choose the date and time because that's already selected. Now I can just click Add in the upper right-hand corner and I'm done. One of the other benefits of the day view is the ability to move around your appointments, which you just can't do from the month view without going into the edit screen. To move something around, all I have to do is press and hold on an appointment and just start dragging it. In fact, I can also make it a longer appointment or an earlier appointment, or even press and hold and move it to the right side and scroll many days into the future to position it on a completely different day without ever having to go into that edit screen. The edit screen is great when you need to do it, but from the day view, it's so simple to just reorganize your schedule, change an appointment, move it around, or even create a new appointment by pressing and holding that it makes it so much simpler than any other screen when it comes to creating new appointments. There's one other reason that I really love the day view, And that is these numbers that you see up at the top of my screen. These are the days of that particular week. And if I click on any specific day, it's going to jump there, which makes sense and is easy to do. But what most people don't realize is if you're clicked on a specific day, like in this case, Friday the 25th, and you swipe on the dates at the top, it will jump you by exactly 1 week. This makes it easy when your friend and you want to get together for a Friday night dinner, but you're not sure which Friday. How about the 1st? Oh, that doesn't work for you? How about the 8th? Oh, how about the 15th? Oh, that works? Great, let's schedule that. It's so much easier to do that from this view than flipping around the month view and trying to figure it out that way. Don't forget your Today button in the bottom left-hand corner. That will immediately jump you back to the current day, making it easy for you to pick up from where you left off. And before we're done talking about the different views, there's one more view that we should discuss, and it's called the week view. You access the week view simply by turning your phone horizontally like this, and it immediately gives you a multi-day view, allowing you to see more days at a time, and you can swipe across the top to move through it. You can go up and down in your day, and you can really see a lot of your calendar right from here, giving you an additional view that in some cases is still better than the month view because it shows you all your separate appointment times and allows you to easily create an appointment just by pressing and holding and moving it to the proper day and time. Simple and easy. Now we're going to talk about some of the options you have when you create appointments. And there's a lot of different ways to create appointments. We've talked about using the plus button, and we've talked about using your finger. When you first create an appointment, you make certain basic settings. So I'm going to create a brand new event, and we're going to talk about the different options you have when creating an event. Let's start by putting my finger on the open space here, pressing and holding, and immediately it pops up my ad screen, allowing me to give it a title, a location, and fill in all this information. For this example, I'm not going to fill in the details. We're just going to put in the basics here. And I'm going to click Add in the upper right-hand corner. Because I did this in the day view, it's on the right day and time. If I want to move it later, I can press and hold and just move it into a different slot right on that same day. When you want to edit what's in an appointment, click onto that appointment and it'll pull up this screen where you can change some of the basics like what calendar it's a part of and what the alert is. In this particular case, I need to change more than that. So let's go up to the upper right-hand corner and let's click Edit. Now from here, we've got our title. What about a location? Who cares about putting a location in, right? You should. There's two different kinds of locations. If it's a video call or a video conference, putting the link in right in the location section will make it easy to join that Zoom call, that FaceTime call, that Google Meet call, regardless of which device you've got in your hands. But if it's a physical location, you should definitely put that address right in here. It's easy to do. You can come and search in any address or grab any recent address that's already been found. Once you've got that address in, it enables this thing down here called travel time, which connects to where you are, where you're leaving, and the traffic to make sure you're never late for your appointments. I can choose whether this is an all-day event or adjust the date and time, and I can turn on travel time right here, clicking that button on and choosing a starting location, which will then allow me to choose whether I'm going to be driving, walking, biking, or taking the train there, and also gives me the ability to add additional time. By using travel time, you'll be alerted on your separate devices before it's time to leave, especially if traffic is heavier than usual. And it makes it practically impossible to be late for those appointments ever again. Let's see you do that with a paper calendar. In addition to that, we can also turn on a repeating event. If this particular event is something that happens on a regular basis, daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly, you can come to this repeat section to choose those options. And you'll see every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year. But the real powerhouse tip is underneath this custom section, because from here you can choose the frequency, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, but you can also make it more specific. For example, if it's daily, but it's really every 5 days. That's easy to do. Or maybe it's weekly, but it's really only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or maybe it's monthly, and you can come up here and change it to monthly, but it's not always on the same day. Maybe it's on the first Wednesday of every month. By choosing your specific repeat schedule, you can automatically make sure that these recurring appointments show up on your calendar days, weeks, months, even years in advance. It's a great way to do things, and I really love the custom tool, but sometimes it's easy enough to just use the daily or weekly tool. It's really up to you. Down below that, we've got the option to choose what calendar we want to use. Now, let me just take a moment and explain what we're talking about here. When you look at my calendar, you're going to notice that different things show up in different colors. This is because I've created different categories within my calendar app. To find the different categories, click on the calendar button at the bottom middle here. This will show all the different accounts and different calendars you have for each of those accounts. You can turn them on or off by clicking the check button on the left side here, making it easy for you to have a calendar without having to look at those appointments all the time. There are some calendars here that I just don't need to see regularly, so I can just turn them off at will and just keep the ones that I want. If you'd like to create a new category or a new calendar, click the Add Calendar button in the lower left-hand corner here, and then click the Add Calendar button right at the top here, and it will allow you to create a calendar, choose an account, share it with somebody if you want, create a color for it, and decide whether you want to be alerted for events on that calendar or not. It's really helpful to have these separate categories for your calendar so that you can separate things that need you in person versus things that are phone calls versus things that are just tentative and may or may not get fully scheduled. There's a lot of good reasons to do it. If you're using a Google account, you will need to go to the Google website to add additional categories and calendars there, but once you do, they will show up in the Apple Calendars app. All right, let's hop back into our appointment. Let's click on this test button here, and let's go into the edit mode. In addition to the calendar choice, you can invite people to any of your appointments by going into the invitees section right there and putting in their email address. Down below there, you've got the option for alerts. Alerts are a critical part of the calendaring system. It's how you're going to be notified when a particular appointment is close, or you need to get ready or get in the car or get prepared for a meeting. It's easy to do by clicking on the alert button here and choosing when you'd like to be alerted. 5 minutes before, an hour before, 2 days before, or a week before. Let's go ahead and click a week before. When you create one alert, you're going to notice it then gives you a secondary alert, which means that in addition to being alerted a week before, I could also be alerted 5 minutes before. And that's going to make it simple for me to have an early warning a week in advance and a follow-up warning 5 minutes in advance. And down here, we've got the option to add an attachment. This can be really helpful if there's a particular document or spreadsheet that you need access to when you're on this particular meeting. Just clicking the Add Attachment button will open up your Files app, allowing you to pick anything and add it in. This makes it easy to make sure you have what you need at the time of the appointment. And right down here at the bottom is one of my favorite parts and one of the most valuable tools in Calendar, the notes. When I talk to people who still have a physical calendar and have resisted moving over to a digital calendar, one of the most common reasons is because they want to be able to write notes for their particular events. They want to write the agenda down, or the things they want to talk to that person about, or any other information so that they can make the most out of that event. All of those things can be put right into the notes section here, meaning that you've got all the information you need about that event front and center and super easy for you to find. Which means that your digital calendar has essentially the same tools that your physical calendar has, and then some. So now that we understand our calendars app so much better and we know the different screens and the different views and the different ways to create calendar appointments, it's time to talk about Siri. Siri adds a whole level of functionality onto the calendar, making it easy to do all sorts of things with just your voice. If you haven't watched my other Siri videos, you should definitely check them out, but I'm going to sum it up really simply. There's two different ways that you can summon Siri. The first one is by using your voice and saying either or. The second way is by using the physical button on your phone that's on the right side of your phone. When you use that button, press and hold it and keep holding it while you are asking for Siri to do things. This will make sure she continues to listen until you release your finger and then she processes the command. When you're making commands with Siri, it's important to understand the order of operations. Start with what you want to do. Then add when and how. Don't start with the when because it's going to throw things off. So in a moment, we're going to create an appointment, edit an appointment, cancel an appointment, and even have Siri read my current schedule to me out loud. Let's give it a try. Create an event called Phone Class tomorrow at 4 p.m. Notice that when it brought it up, it recognized that there were other events at that same time and asked me if I wanted to schedule it anyways, which in this case I do. Did you notice how I said what it was and the name I wanted to call it and then the day and time? That makes it so much easier. You can also do it for repeating events like this. Create an event called Walk the Dog every Thursday at 4. Notice again that it brought up future events that were conflicting in case I needed to change or reschedule it. But once I said schedule anyways, that went right onto my calendar. Now let's talk about moving an event. We can see right now that tomorrow at 4 o'clock we have phone class. Let's change that. Move tomorrow's phone class to 7 p.m. Thursday. And it moves it right over. There it is right there at 7 o'clock. Let's cancel it. Delete Thursday's phone class appointment. And then I just click delete and it's right off my calendar. So we talked about how to create an event by saying simply create an event called whatever the name is at this day and time. You can even use that to add locations like this. Create an appointment called date night tonight at 7 p.m. and set the location to home. And you'll notice that not only did it put it on the right day and time, and it even set the location for me, making it easy for me to create an appointment with just my voice. But there's one more thing that Siri can do that is totally amazing, and that is read your schedule back to you by simply asking her to do it. I'm going to press the side button. What's my schedule tomorrow?
Tomorrow you have 11 events.
And I can ask for details about specific things, something like this. When is my next dentist appointment?
CJS Dentist at 1115 Landero Canyon Road.
Just like that. So don't overlook Siri's capability to create events, edit events, delete events, and even give you information about any events on your calendar. Siri's a powerful tool, and especially with calendars, it just makes things easier. Now, how'd we do so far today? Did you get some good value? Did you get some good information? Are you really just jazzed up about all the new ways to use your calendar? Well, we are not done yet. In just a moment, I'm going to reveal my MacWhisperer power tip, and this is going to add a much requested feature into calendars that makes it so easy to manage your reminders and your tasks right from your Calendars app. But before I drop that wisdom, if you got some good information and you loved what we talked about, give it a thumbs up. It makes it easier for other people to find it and get that same value. And if you've got a question, a comment, something you need more information about, drop it in the comments section down below. I love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, maybe you like to do things the hard way. You like to hunt around for your next video and cross your fingers that you don't miss any great MacWhisperer wisdom. But if you want to make things easier, and that's really the point of watching this video in the first place, I strongly recommend hitting that subscribe button and that notify bell so you don't miss any of the wisdom that I drop on a regular basis about how to make your Apple products work perfectly. And now the waiting's over and it's time for the power tip. The Calendar app isn't the only tool that we can use to become more productive and organized. One of the other tools that I love using is the Reminders app right here. I use the Reminders app all the time to help me stay on top of all of my projects, all of my tasks, and stay ahead of all of my deadlines. But one of the questions that I've been asked time and time again is how do you use reminders inside of the calendar? And before iOS 18, you had to download a third-party calendars app to do that, something like Fantastical or BusyCal or one of those tools. But Apple's now added the reminder capability into the calendar. And if you don't see it, here's how you turn it on. From the Calendars app, click on the Calendars button in the bottom here and scroll down until you see the Scheduled Reminders option right here. Clicking right on that will make sure that any reminders that are scheduled will show up on your calendar. What's a scheduled reminder, you say? Well, let's hop into the Reminders app to talk about that. A scheduled reminder is any reminder that has a date or time attached to it. So over here in my scheduled section, you'll see things that are this week, this week, this week, things that are 3 o'clock yesterday or next week or things like that. Any of those are considered scheduled appointments. So when I come out of my reminders list and into the calendar, with that new change we've made, turning on the scheduled reminders, we're going to see my scheduled reminders right on the calendar. Let's go to the Today view to take a look. And you'll see that at 11 a.m. I needed to call my friend Mike. I actually did that. And right from the Calendars app, I can just click on the little circle and it will complete it, and it will complete it in the Reminders app as well. If I need to move one, I can press and hold on it and just drag it to a later time. It's easy to move these reminders around at will, and that way you can always tell what you need to do from your calendar. In addition to that, you can easily create a reminder from the Calendars app, either by using the plus button in the upper right-hand corner and choosing Reminder on the right side here, or by pressing and holding on any open space in your calendar. It will open up the new option, click over to Reminder, and from here, give it a title, add any notes you need, give it a due date and a due time, and you can even schedule it to repeat or put it in any one of your lists so that it's organized properly in the Reminders app. Whatever you do inside of Calendars will immediately sync with the Reminders app so that all your information is in both places and organized properly on the specific day that you need things to get done. So once I've gone to Costco, I can just click right on this button here in order to remove it. And if I need to add a new reminder tomorrow, press and hold, go over to Reminders, click Add, and it's right there, ready to go. You can also create reminders from the Reminders app by going into Reminders and clicking New Reminder in the bottom left-hand corner. Give it a title, then come click down on the calendar icon at the bottom of this bar here, and you can schedule it for a specific day, or by going to the far right, you can schedule it for a day and time, making sure that I remember to call my mom today at 7. You guys should probably just schedule call your mom today at 7 too, because she'd love to hear from you. Let's click the Add button in the upper right-hand corner here. It doesn't matter if you create your reminders in the Calendars app or in the Reminders app, because since they synchronize with each other, it's going to show up in both apps anyways. But there's still one more power tip left to be shared. And yep, you guessed it, that's about using Siri. Siri is made for reminders, and she makes it so simple to add reminders into your reminders list and into your calendar with just your voice. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to press and hold that side button again. Remind me to call my dad at 5:30 tonight.
Okay, I added it.
Remind me to call Jim Ellis tomorrow at 9.
Okay, I added it.
Remind me to pick up my dry cleaning on Friday at 5.
Okay, I added it.
And once you've learned how to put reminders in using Siri, you can also ask Siri what's on your reminders list in the same way. What's on my grocery list?
You have 11 reminders on your grocery list.
So remember, using Siri adds so much additional functionality into both your calendar and your reminders lists, making it easy for you to get even more done and be even more productive. So that's what we've got for today's video. If you'd like to learn more about reminders, check out this video right here, which will walk you through some of the best reminders tools and tricks and supercharge your productivity. I'm Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and it's my passion and profession to help you get more done on your Apple products than ever before. And I'll see you next time.